I may look like a bit of a mess, however, that is because I was genuinely convinced by all of the Booktube TBR videos, or the Booktube-A-Thon TBR videos up on the site right now, that I had just missed the deadline, that I wasn't going to be able to do this, but I just watched the video. If I film this very quickly and edit very quickly, I will still be able to enter by the due date. Score. So, what is Booktube-A-Thon? For those of you who don't know, which granted is probably most people who watch me since they're all friends who aren't really into the whole booktube thing. The Booktube-A-Thon is apparently a readathon that happens every year within, clearly, Booktube, and I will link to the 2 official videos on this down in the description below if you want to contact those people or watch those videos and get a better idea. But essentially there are 7 challenges and a bunch of crazy cool fun events and games, and I'm just going to use this video to talk to you guys about these 7 books that I'll be reading from July 24th to July 30th for Booktube-A-Thon 2017. Let's go. Number 1, read a book with a person on the cover. For this, I have picked Eyes on You by Kate White. It is clearly a person on the cover. I did start reading this back in, I actually don't quite remember, some point during the school year, but I ended up not being able to really read that far into it or read it very well. So it's still been on my TBR for a very long time, so I'm going to read this start to finish. 2, read a really hyped book. Now, if I have a really hyped book, chances are I read it instantly because it's now in my possession, or it's 500 pages long, and I'm definitely not going to be able to finish reading that by the end of the Booktube-A-Thon. So I actually picked a classic. I picked a Shakespeare novel. I picked The Tempest because I actually have yet to complete a Shakespeare play and or novel, so I think that this should suffice for, you know, pretty well hyped. Number 3, finish a book in the day. For this, I was trying to think of a really small book that I was going to be really into, so I chose Working for Bigfoot by Jim Butcher. Only problem with this, I didn't finish book 1 of the series, but hopefully I'll be able to catch up on what's happening while reading this book. Number 4 is pick a book with a main character who is very different from you. I picked, once again, another classic because I'm trying to catch up on all the classics right now. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but I am not a doctor from the past who has a split personality issue. Number 5, read a book completely outdoors. Now, I do want to complete 7 books, so I did still pick one for reading outside, even though I'll probably just pick my read in one day book for that. But I have Inherit the Stars by James P. Hogan. This is a sci-fi book from the 70s. I'm reading a lot of old books because I don't have enough new ones and I haven't bought any more yet. But I have had it on my shelf forever. It's been on my TBR forever. So I figured might as well just finally, you know, sit down and read it. 6. A book that you bought entirely because the cover was pretty, or you just really like the cover. And that 100% for me is The Widow's Daughter by Nicholas Edlin. I bought this book because I love blue covers. I like the whole, you know, silhouette picture vibe. And I have no idea if I'm going to like it or not because I still haven't read it. And I just bought it because of the cover. Number 7 is read 7 books. If I finish all of these and then one more book, I will be good for having read 7 books. So I have 2 different book options depending if one of them absolutely bores me out of my mind or I just happen to finish early, which probably won't happen, to be fair. But I have The Elite by Kira Cass and Johnny Got His Gun by Dalton Trumbo. So that is my TBR for this upcoming 2017 Book-A-Thon. I'm really excited to be a part of it this year. And I will see you guys actually July 24th. Maybe I'll vlog it. Maybe I'll do games. I'm not quite sure how this works, but I'll make sure to have some videos coming out to you guys about Book-A-Thon and my progress during it. Okay.